Yo, hey guys, Weeks here. Welcome back to another Heroes of Hammerwatch build guide video. This one is going to be for the Wizard class. The Wizard is basically a Fire Mage character with a little bit of hybrid damage sprinkled in. We'll be building this character very similar to the other casters. We'll be using crit damage, combo, luck, and just skill power in general, as well as scaling the cost of the skills to do more damage. So for the Wizard, his primary ability is a Fireball, which just launches. Fireball deals 20 magic damage, and it kind of blows up in an AoE. We also need to talk about his passives before we go too far. We have Combustion. So all Wizard skills inflict Combustion, which is damage over time, dealing 20 magic damage per second for 4 seconds. So you already see how good these passive skills are. This is doing 20 damage every second. This is doing 20 damage on hit, so unless you're attacking with this every second, you're not going to be able to out DPS the Combustion, or it's going to be very close. But we're going to be using skill power, which is going to increase the passive skill damage here, in addition to spell crit and crit bonus. But he also has another passive that works on all skills. So all skills leave a burning danger area that deals 16 magic damage per second. So when I cast Fireball, if I hit something, I'm going to ignite them. If I don't hit anything, I'm just going to leave this burning ground. His other skills include Fire Breath. This also applies this Combustion and Scorched Earth along with all his other skills. So keep that in mind as we go through this. Fire Breath is like a cone of fire. Best way to describe it is like a single target skill. You can definitely use this in like corridors to take out some enemies, but I really use it as like a boss killer. Next we have Blast Wave. Blast Wave does damage around the Wizard, also leaves the burning ground. Enemies hit are confused and slowed. It also destroys most projectiles. So it's a good offensive as well as a defensive skill. If you are afraid of like projectiles coming at you, you can use Blast Wave to blow them up. Or if there's a bunch of enemies, like a bunch of melee guys that are walking towards you really quickly, you can hit Blast Wave and they'll be confused, and they'll also be slowed, so it'll give you some vital time to cast some of your other skills or have the damage over time take them out. Yeah, next is the Meteor Shower. It just drops a bunch of meteors around the Wizard. It also deals just a bunch of damage. It does hybrid damage here. It also can send the meteors over walls and different places, and it still drops these passives, so you can kind of clear out some rooms without even having to go in them. Now we've already talked about Combustion, so we'll talk about Flame Shield. So Flame Shield is basically a buff that protects the Wizard, and when the Wizard gets hit, Flame Shield activates and it casts a Blast Wave. So let's say you get hit by a projectile, Blast Wave goes out and it's going to destroy all the other projectiles, or if you get hit by a melee character, a melee enemy, then the hit is going to trigger this wave and they're going to be confused and slowed. So very nice like defensive ability as well, and it shares a different cooldown. So you can Blast Wave, get hit, and the Blast Wave will still like trigger, but this one can only trigger every 5 seconds. So for the Wizard, since it's mostly magic damage, the only thing that isn't is the hybrid meteor. We're using Path of Magician to increase all of our skills damage by 20%. This includes those passive skills, which is really the most important part of this. Is those passive skills just do a ton of damage over time. We also want our damage to ignore 20% of the enemy's resist. This has half effect for the meteor, since the meteor is hybrid damage. Second to last, we use Symbol of Focus, which increases the crit damage of our skills by 100%. Like we said, we're going to be a luck, crit, combo, crit damage based Wizard. So we're going Symbol of Focus to get that extra crit damage, so when we crit really hard. Next up is Divine Strike. This just has a short cooldown. I'm not sold that this is the best for the Wizard, but it definitely works. It's magic, so it benefits from Blessing of Intellect. These other ones just didn't really do it for me, so we're using Divine Strike. It also has a really short cooldown, so it almost fires all the time. It also smart targets, which is kind of useful. Alright, next up for the Wizard, we have the drinks. We're using Evil Infusion to lifesteal on all our skills, which will be basically everything we're doing here besides our primary. We'll also be using Frenetic Eruption. This gives us a 5% chance to enter combo when scoring a critical hit, which will count off of the damage over time. It'll count all of our primary in addition to our skills. So as long as we crit every now and then, we're going to maintain combo all the time. Next, we're using Wicked Sickness. This will give us more damage while we're in combo. Another reason that we want to use Eruption, so we can always be in combo for Wicked Sickness. In addition to needing to crit, we're going to use Starlight Stinger, so we can actually crit even more with our skills, which is what we're basing this character on. So more crits with the Starlight Stinger gives us more chance to be in combo. More chance to be in combo is Wicked Sickness, so we'll have more damage all the time. And then, we have our lifesteal. For the last drink, we use Elemental Bruiser. So this increases our skills damage in addition to our skills cost. So some of our skills have a pretty lengthy cooldown, especially Meteor and the Blast Wave. So we won't really be burning through this mana even with Elemental Bruiser unless you're really spamming. Alright, next up we have the starting items for this build. So we're looking for Lucky Hat or Staff of Auto Casting. So with this one here, we have Lucky Hat with Wand of Spell Piercing, which is really good because it just penetrates magic damage, which is going to be the majority of our damage except for the Meteor. Some other things you could look for would just be more spell crit. Mana regen can be useful. Resist, armor, movement speed even, evasion, all of that's going to be really useful just with some of your runs, but this is definitely like good enough to do runs on. All you really need is the Lucky Hat or the Staff of Auto Casting until the NGs get higher, and then you can be more and more strict with it. So for item attunements, I would start off with your starting items, which include the Lucky Hat and the Staff of Auto Casting. Staff of Auto Casting gives us the extra crit hit with skills, which is very important. There's a couple other items that give us crit with skills. Mainly, actually there's only one more, and it is the Staff of Unstable Casting. From there, the luck will give you increased crit chance, so you also want to look for Lucky Horseshoe, attune that pretty early on. And there's another luck item down here. The Lucky Charm, yeah, Lucky Charm. Other than that, I focus on just having more life because our life is so low. Spell power, evasion, movement speed even, just the damage to all the enemies. Really anything, also combo spheres to keep us in combo longer. Anything that increases the effective health of our character or increases the damage, which should be most things in here. As you can kind of see, spell penetration, spell crit. Even some of the utility stuff is good to get early, just so you can continue to upgrade your town and your statues. Just kind of go through all this to show off everything. Also, skill power, also very useful. Don't think we mentioned that before. Evasion, armor, resist. Alright, and last we have statues. We're going to be using the same statues that we use on the other spellcasters. The first one we use is Cedric. Cedric says whenever you pick up mana crystals, you increase your resistances and mana regen for 20% for 30 seconds. And then also another benefit is each level of the statue adds 5% of your resist to your skill power. So as you get more and more resist, even from items, from NG, from arena, it doesn't matter. You're going to get more and more damage from Cedric. And as you level him up, you're going to get even more damage because every level gives you 5% of your resist. When you get to level 20, you'll get a 1-to-1 ratio for resistances to skill power. So keep that in mind if you ever do arena. You will want to invest in resist instead of skill power because you will get the benefit of resistance in addition to the benefit of skill power. So next statue we have Wilmer. This gives us faster skills, which reduces the cooldown of all of our skills and does just more damage. We also get each level of the statue adds 5% of the skills cost as damage to your skills, which is one reason why we're using the Elemental Bruiser. That increases our skills cost by 50%. So if we look at our Meteor, it does 160. Elemental Bruiser would bring it up to 240. And Wilmer level 8 doesn't give us an amazing amount of damage. It's still really good. But for easy math, if it's level 20, you get the cost of the skill as damage added to the skill. So that would be 240 flat damage added to the skill. The skill currently does 320, so it would add just another 240 to it, and then that would all be scaled by your skill power. And then your crit chance with your crit damage, you're going to be doing incredible damage with the Wilmer statue. Lastly, we have Bolgarth. Bolgarth helps us maintain combo, so we can do more damage. We currently have level 10, which gives an extra 5 seconds of combo. Also, the primary attack gives us a little combo blast. It's not irrelevant, but it's not like a super huge thing we're focusing on. We really just want this to stay in combo as much as possible. Alright everyone, so this is going to wrap up our wizard guide. The wizard is like a glass cannon. It does a ton of damage, but as you can see his health is pretty small. But this build has been working out for us. We've gotten up to NG+10 on this character, and we should be able to get up to 20 with this build without any problems. If we find out anything that works better, we'll make sure to update the guide or make a new guide. Anyway, if anybody has any questions or comments about this build, just let me know down in the comments. Feel free to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one. Baby laughs in the video.